For the last few weeks, there have been a lot more attention and amplification of Asian voices on this app, primarily surrounding topics of decentering whiteness and removing proximity to whiteness as related to Asian Market. And I really appreciate the increased visibility into these ongoing conversations because I've seen an increased amount of space on this app for Asians to come out here and talk about other racial, social, economic issues that all kinds of Asians are facing. And through witnessing a lot of the discussions that are being had, I've noticed a lot of Southeast Asian creators talk about their experiences and a lot of the discrimination that Southeast Asians face, especially from East Asians as it relates to colorism, as it relates to elitism, social inequity. As an East Asian person, I am Korean who resides in America. It is especially important, and I'm speaking to my other East Asian folks that are watching this video, for us to amplify Southeast Asian voices. Because in order for us to progress our people as East Asians, we need to progress all Asians, and that includes Southeast Asians, and that includes being mindful of the history and the oppression of Southeast Asians by East Asians. I've seen many commentary about decentering whiteness as a result of Asian Market from many East Asian creators on here, and that is a very important discussion to be had. But in order to really fully see through decentering whiteness, we need to center pan-Asian voices across the diaspora, because only then will we realize that a lot of our Southeast Asians brothers and sisters and cousins have been separated, segregated, ripped apart due to colonization. Only then will we be able to recognize the reasons behind why the colorism and the socio-economic inequity between East Asians and Southeast Asians exists, and why the discrimination of Southeast Asians happens so often from East Asian people. To my East Asian brothers and sisters, when Southeast Asian people comment on here talking about their negative experiences with East Asians, facing discrimination from East Asians being nasty towards Southeast Asians, all of that is not a coincidence. And if you personally do not uphold those values, it is not enough for you to say, okay, but I'm not like that. Because in order for us to fully decolonize, we need to be anti-colorist, anti-discriminatory, anti-elitist, and that requires action. If we want to see progress within the Asian community, we need to be able to first come together within the Asian community. And to my East Asian folks, that requires us to listen to boost, to understand Southeast Asian voices. If we start talking about how the minimum wage in Thailand is 3 times that of Myanmar, and the average income of a Singaporean is 50 times that of an average Cambodian, and we can start to see the socio-economic differences and inequalities that already exist, which also cause so many Southeast Asian migrants to go to other more affluent countries as a result of colonization. And because of that, there's been so much mistreatment because these people are vulnerable, these people are exploited for their labor, these people are mistreated, abused, violence against these people, sexual abuse against these people. There are larger volumes of typhoons and natural disasters that decimate so much of the land and so much of the people in Southeast Asia every single year. And because of this, they become more desperate to find safety and to find shelter and to find work. And because of that, they're more vulnerable. And because of this, there is extremely high percentages of human trafficking of Southeast Asian people in Southeast Asian countries. There's a huge issue of exploitation and trafficking of Southeast Asians. Southeast Asians are talking about this. You don't see a lot of East Asians come up on this app and talking about these kind of issues. So it makes sense for Southeast Asians to look at us East Asians and give us a side eye when we want to come on here and still talk about very valid issues about, decentering ourselves from whiteness and decolonizing ourselves. But if we really fully want to do that, we need to include these Southeast Asian voices in everything that we're saying. I really want us to be able to come together, all Asians. I really want all Asians to come together. And in order to do that, us East Asians are speaking to us specifically like we need to do better. And we can do better. It's never too late to do that. So put your shame aside if you haven't done anything at all or enough up until this point, because moving forward, I plead and encourage you to listen to Southeast Asians and what they have to say. And I will tag some great Southeast Asian creators on here that have given me a lot of knowledge on a lot of these Asian topics. And of course, as always, speaking and raising awareness is great, but we can always push the needle forward in much more efficient ways by taking action as well. Once we start learning and becoming more knowledgeable about Southeast Asian issues, we can be able to speak on those things and weave those into some of the issues that we're facing so that it doesn't sound so tone deaf when we come on here and talk about the still very valid things that we're experiencing as East Asians. The International Justice Mission, also known as the IJM, helps support victims of exploited forced labor slavery in Southeast Asia, where exploitation is such a huge issue. If you're able to help support financially by donating or even just want to find out more information about these issues, I'll leave a link in my bio. And if you don't already know, recently the Philippines has been dealing with massive flooding and destruction and decimation of their land due to the 2 large typhoons that have happened earlier in November. Because of this, over 150,000 families have been displaced and millions of people have been dealing with power outages, destruction, and just disruption to their everyday lives because of the landslides and the flooding that happened because of the typhoons. If you would like to help provide emergency relief, shelters, and long-term recovery solutions for these families directly, I'll leave another link in my bio as well. And again, to my East Asian brothers and sisters, in order to continually support and see better for our people, we need to look and consider all of our people, not just within our East Asian communities, but also inclusive of the Southeast Asian and South Asian communities as well. Because at the end of the day, everybody that's not Asian sees us all as the same, even though we have vastly different experiences within our communities. In order for us to come together, we need to do better. And I'm hopeful that we can, and I know that we can. So let's do better. Let's do better, y'all. Peace and love to my Southeast Asians. I appreciate y'all for y'all discussions. I appreciate y'all for checking us. It's very much needed, and I'm going to continue to strive to do as best as I can to support y'all as well.